Is spring here to stay across the Midwest? Well, today we're going to find out. This is the most recent run of the European as of Thursday morning, February 12th. Right now, it's pretty calm across Wisconsin, high pressure sitting overhead. It'll be a nice day today, relatively mild, sunshine, calm winds. And that pattern will continue over the next several days. No big systems in the near future. I think in a previous video I mentioned we could see a weak system Thursday into Friday this week. Well, that one did not develop. See maybe a few light sprinkles across Iowa. That's about it. Otherwise, as we go into this weekend, it'll remain mild and calm. Very nice weather though. I mean, if you're looking for lots of sun and warm temperatures, the next few days will definitely be for you. It could be close to 60 on Sunday and Monday of next week across southern Wisconsin, and definitely well above freezing into the 40s and maybe even low 50s across the northern part of the state. So it'll be 20, maybe 25 degrees above average here. So we're going into a very mild and calm period. Here's Friday. You see that warm air creeping closer and closer. As we go into this weekend, again, it stays mild and calm. There's a system off to the south that brings some rain, but I think as close as that gets is maybe central Illinois. Too much warm air in place anyways. This one stays mostly all rain. Now as you go into next week, not much is changing. We see some colder air kind of building off to the north, but it's still very mild across most of Wisconsin. Pretty dry, pretty uneventful. And that's not only across Wisconsin, I mean, that's most of the country. We start to see maybe some precipitation move into the Pacific Northwest in California, but 90% of the country is dry into early next week. But that does start to change as we go into the middle and later part of the week. Here's a system finally building into Wednesday, and this could be a relatively strong system. Right now, the European and GFS have relatively similar looks for this one, but it is still about 6 days out, so definitely a lot can change. Seeing rain to start, at least across most of Wisconsin, but that could transition into a brief mix or even all snow across northern parts of the state. Upper Michigan as well. I think this one could definitely be a significant snowfall producer. It just really depends on the timing and where exactly that low sets up. But I'll say that there's a decent chance that at least some of the state will see accumulating snow out of this. That moves out as we go into Thursday, but I think this is where the pattern really starts to stay active. Now the exact timing and number of low pressure systems that move through, and especially the location, that's definitely up in the air, and there's disagreement among the models, but it stays active, I think, during this time frame starting around the 18th of February. So I think I mentioned it gets active here coming up in my last video. Definitely it's delayed a bit, but I think it's still coming. And the Arctic air that everyone was talking about earlier in the month that would come in the second half of February, that's definitely delayed or just maybe not coming at all. I mean, the next week is really mild. It does cool down after that, but I think just more seasonal. So I don't really see any true Arctic air, at least that'll last over the next few weeks, but it doesn't stay in the 50s until spring. Winter's definitely not over. There will be more snow and more colder temperatures, but maybe not a true Arctic blast like some were indicating earlier in the month. Now as we go into Friday later next week, another system, maybe a shot of some light snow into Friday across parts of Wisconsin. Again, this is really far out, but it does illustrate that the active pattern will continue as we go into next weekend. The Europeans showing another relatively strong storm into Sunday, February 22nd, and this could be another rain snow situation across Wisconsin, and it's really too far out to look at this at all. But cooler air coming in after that, Monday the 23rd, that looks like a relatively cold setup. I don't think Arctic air, but at least back to freezing, maybe slightly below. And the active pattern does actually look to continue, and it looks to stay relatively on the cooler side, I would say, as we go into the end of the month. And the European does try to even bring another system in by the 26th. And then you see there's more activity across the central parts of the country. I think the West starts to get a little bit more active during this time, and just overall the whole country does get more active. But over the next few days, if you like the warmth and the sun, take advantage of that because it won't be sticking around forever, and there is still several shots of cooler weather and snow as we get into the end of February.